Welcome back to Boys and Ghouls Film Review, folks. I'm your host, Sarah Stephenson, and this is my co-host, Mike Stephenson.
Hi, guys.
So tonight we'll be reviewing a zombie movie called Train to Busan that was released in 2016.
Yeah, South Korean. For those of you who don't mind reading subtitles.
And seeing as we've already covered Alive...
That was Korean, wasn't it?
Yeah, Asian anyway. And we've covered that zombie TV series we began this year, which we thought was
a bit... right, yeah, the school...
Yeah, which was a bit on the long side, but this one is... I give a full recommendation to check out.
Actually, this is a good movie. We'll get into it later, but even, believe it or not, even the critics liked it. That's a change.
Yes, and they loved it so much. Well, the audience and the reviewers loved it so much. It was booming with cash, really.
Well, it made a good return. I don't know how much the budget was, but the box office was rather meaty. It's quite good.
Yeah, and the good thing was the guy who did this put together a sequel, and I don't know if that made a good splash yet. But
no.
But we
may look at it.
But we may look at it later on. This one I think is pretty cool because it takes place on a train, no less, and I think it's kind of cool.
It is.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot different, huh?
You know the problem is?
What's that?
Well, for zombie outbreak on a train, and you can find, how do you go to the toilet?
No point.
Where do you run to? And the restaurant car you can't get to.
There's no restaurant car on this train, I don't think.
Okay,
You're thinking of the Orient Express, Mike.
Okay.
This is not the Orient Express. This is
It's in the Orient, sort of. It's in Korea.
This is just an ordinary express train to.
I was joking.
Around Korea, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I don't even know how.
No, it would have been only an hour, a couple of hours on the train, possibly. Yes. Anyway, let's get into it. Okay, we've run that. Blah 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 blah.
Blah, blah, blah.
Okay. Now I'll go through a couple of things here. Excuse me. I'm just looking at the names here. I'm trying to get my head around.
Yeah.
Okay. Produced by Lee Dong-ha. Directed by Sang-ho.
Who?
Written by Park Jun-suk. That's not too bad. I'm getting there. Now starring. I won't mention who they are because I can't get names around my mouth around the names too much anyway. So deal with it. Okay, now we've got Gong Yu, Jung Yumai, Ma Dong-seok, Kim Suan, Choi Woo-shik, An Soo-hee, and Kim Eui-sung. Okay. Now, I don't normally mention the cinematography, but in this case I will because I was rather impressed with what it did. In a moving, supposedly moving train, you sort of can find what you can do space-wise, so it's done pretty reasonably good. So Lee Hyung-dok did the cinematography. I think he did quite good.
I agree so. And I think it's cool that the director, he started off as he did a prequel to this that's an animation.
An animated one, yeah.
Which was called let me see, the station, what's it called here? It's called let me see. Oh, yeah,
it was called Seoul Station.
Yeah, Seoul Station. And,
obviously based in Korea.
It's a prequel, and it explains how the outbreak happened.
Yeah, it had something to do with that factory or company or thing.
Plant or whatever they call it.
Now, okay. Excuse me, I'll do a few more thingies here and we'll get into it. Right. Now, I was mistaken. I did have the budget here. Now, I had a budget of about 8.5 million. Box office to almost 100 million. Now, that's what a movie maker wants to see. Yeah.
Nice.
I won't go too much more on the goodies. I'll talk about things later, but
it's nice that they got a good return on their investment or on their film project. Wouldn't you say, Mike?
Yeah, do. And you got to look at that's only the box office. It doesn't cover the home media.
Yeah, as we said before, DVDs don't really cover it, guys. DVDs don't cover it.
No, they're not in here. The market's doing it, but I would like to think it's made a bucket load more money because Yeah. But anyway, here we're going to go. You might as well take it away. I don't want to go too much into it.
Yes.
Yeah. I got no more to say at this point in time.
So the story begins. A man is leaving this plant. He is told there was a bit of a leakage down the way there.
Down the back there or something, yeah. So
and he should be very careful. So he drives a bit, and then he rams into an upcoming deer. And I know what you're going to say. Oh, dear.
Oh, poor Bambi.
No, I was going to say, oh, dear.
I said that last year.
Anyway,
you're just copying me.
The man looks over his truck, says, nothing damaged here, so might as well move on. So he rides off without a care in the world, and then the deer slowly gets up. And we see, as we close up to its eyes,
so the eyes are a bit different. You know, all the time we get that sort of glassy, sort of a myopic sort of, whatever, that cataracts or something, that look in their eyes. Yeah. So, okay, something's not quite right here.
Then we cross over to the sort of one of the owners to the plant, who is he's looking for some news about possible chemical leakages that is poisoning the area, possibly to do with his plant, I think. Wouldn't you say?
Possibly.
Yeah. Anyway, he's trying to get his guys to get them get their what do they call it? Try to get their the money out of their investment or whatever they're doing.
Yeah, they're doing a few things. Yeah.
I think it has something to do with the plant before they get their hands dirty or something.
Yeah,
we're in big trouble.
Yes, he wasn't that silly.
Anyway, he then makes plans of getting his daughter a birthday present. Her name is Suan. And
very cute girl.
He's a divorcee, and he's living with his mum, obviously. And he promised his daughter several times that he will take her to Busan to see her mum.
Yeah. Hence the name of the movie.
Of course, he's not good at keeping his promise.
He works more. He's a workaholic type.
Yeah.
You know the type.
Even though his mother wants him to possibly talk it out with his wife and maybe
get back
together.
Be happy families. Lovely.
Even though this may not happen. So anyway, he looks over a video that he was looking at of his daughter's recital for a thingy wing at school, and he changed his mind and decides to do this thing for his little daughter.
Take her to Busan to see Mummy Dearest.
So they pack her little bag and they head to the train station. Along the way, they discuss how she didn't complete her singing at her recital thing. And he says that you must complete it, yada, yada, yada. Of course, she couldn't complete it because she felt like her dad wasn't there. Like, she doesn't have the impulse to complete the song. Anyway, we then see a bunch of ambulances, a fire truck, another truck, and a few other trucks rolling by. And we see in the distance, in the rear view, in the window, that there is fire on a building.
But I don't know what started. It wasn't like the towering inferno bit. They just said, "Oh, look, there's a fire over there." But it could have been the beginning of it. The zombies might have started it. Who knows?
Yes, who knows? So they soon arrive at the train station and board the train, along with some other passengers, I should mention. There's this wealthy individual guy who's not a nice man, who owns, I guess, a few express trains, whatever.
No, he wouldn't have owned the trains. He would have been in the transport industry or something.
Transport industry. Yeah. And there is a married couple who are expecting their first baby, or first child, I think. And
I think it was
a few baseball
one in the oven.
A few baseball players probably going to a sort of a
high school baseball players,
along with a cheerleader girl who has a crush on one of the baseball players. And let me see. And two, a grandma and her sister who are going to wherever they're going to go to. I don't remember what they were going to.
Well,
but again, everyone's going to Busan, so who cares?
Well, they end up going to Busan because it became an express train to get away from all the zombies.
Soon enough, they get on board, and as they're about to depart the station, we see one of the tenants on the station is attacked by someone. And then we see someone sneak on board the train. A lady who's in
She's been chased and she's run and jumped on the train at the last minute.
Yeah,
But
unknown
we
by
don't
the
know who was
person.
chasing her.
Yeah, we see above. I think there's some activity on the above the platform.
Yeah, and the camera goes in that direction, zooms in a little bit, and you see there's a bit of a riot going on.
Suzanne witnessed this sort of thing, but didn't tell her dad because he was already passed out asleep because it's really late at night.
He works hard, poor
and
man.
He plans on dropping her to Busan and returning home to just be after lunch so he can continue damage reports on his company.
Yeah, but you got to do the right thing by your company and your family. Sometimes a balance is hard, folks.
The woman who snuck aboard isn't the only person who snuck aboard. As it turns out, a homeless man also came onto the train and is hiding in the toilet. One of the wealthy men complained about this, meaning he was probably expecting to go to the toilet, but he's not getting to.
That's why I said it looked like a country train to me, because city trains don't have toilets on them.
True. Don't be rude.
Well, you said all the country trains in Australia have toilets. They also have a little restaurant car.
Anyway, it doesn't matter so much. So, anyway, Suan then kind of decides to go to the toilet herself and meets the other people on the train, obviously. Of course, this is where the lady who is suffering from she's gotten bitten, I think, and she starts attacking one of the tenants on the train, security people, I'm not sure, and she then starts wrestling with her and then eventually bites her, and then everyone starts noticing this, and then they start panicking. This zombie plague really seems to happen really quickly. So one person being bitten turns into 5 people being bitten. Then 5 people who bite the other people will turn into 10 other people getting bitten.
Yeah, one person bites a couple other people, and so it goes 1, 4, 10, 20, 40, 100. Yeah, that sort of stuff. Yeah.
Sulan and her dad quickly try to get to the other side of probably one of the what they call them? Oh yeah, cars, and tries to get away from them along with the other passengers as much as they could. And of course, along the way, he either chooses not to help any of the other people who are in desperate need of help.
Yeah, he's rather selfish that way. Yeah,
he starts off as a selfish individual because he's always sees himself survival of the fittest. Yeah. Who cares about everyone else?
Look after yourself. Stuff everybody else. That's not very nice.
Yeah. He didn't even help a man and his wife, for goodness sakes. Anyway, they soon arrive at one of the carts, and they close it. Well, they don't lock it tight because the zombies in this movie don't know how to open doors, technically.
Yeah, duh.
Yeah, not unless it was open for them.
They got zombie fingers, can't grab anything.
Yeah, they then cover the window with newspaper.
Because the zombies get.
Go on, Mike.
The zombies sort of get what's the word I'm looking for? They get agitated and hungry when they can actually see what they're chasing. As soon as they can't see it, they go quiet. Even though if they've got a door and a glass window in it, they're looking at it. As soon as you put a piece of paper there and they can't see it, they're gone. Like an animal. Mm-hmm.
True.
A stupid animal.
Another of their weaknesses is that they cannot see really good in the dark.
Yeah.
Another thing.
Well, those eyes look really bad, Make degeneration or cataracts or something.
Or just like when we were doing that movie, the TV series, the zombie one, that one dealt with the zombies not attacking things that they can hear.
Yeah, see?
So they're using whatever they could to think up any ideas on whether zombies attack by their eyesight, their eyes seeing their prey, or do they attack by their other senses, like their nose, their hearing, stuff like that.
Stuff like that, yeah.
So, anyway, they all are huddled in this little train carts, and the guy on the train, who's the driver, explains that they're going to head to a certain station very soon that will quarantine these people off so that they can
continue on the journey.
Of course, Sunan's father doesn't want them quarantined and suggests to one of his men to collect them, in another part of the train station to get them out of there.
Yeah, and a different place. So they when they got off the train, they tried to break away from the other group and go to that area.
Yeah, and when when the guys get to the group, and we see the soldiers and policemen there have been transformed into zombies, meaning the virus has spread to this part of the of Korea.
All together now. Oh bugger!
Yes, the survivors quickly make their way back to the train. They kind of left, and everyone scatters to different cars. Of course, some of them accidentally open the wrong car door and end up spilling out the zombies that they're already confined inside there.
Yeah, not real bright. You see, they've got all windows. You've got all these people running around and blood all over the place. I'm going to open the door and go in that car. Well, duh.
Yeah, anyway, soon enough, everyone is splitted up. Like Sung-yeon's father and another, the husband and the baseball player have been put in a different cart. His daughter and the grandma and so-and-so's wife have been confined. And the homeless man who's with them is in another cart. So they're all splitted up in different groups. And the rest of the other survivors are, in a different one. And, of course, they contact saying that they're fine. And, of course, they plan on getting to them very soon. Of course, the businessman in that one says, how do we know they're not infected? Yada, yada, yada.
Because they're not walking around weird looking, haven't been bitten. I mean, hello.
Hysteria.
He was definitely looking after number one.
Yeah, he's more concerned about getting to Busan as much as everyone else is, or try to. Anyway, soon.
He's a mongrel.
Yeah,
I didn't like him at all.
Yeah.
Naughty.
We do learn that Busan is a safe point, meaning a safety zone.
Well, they think it was. They thought it would be, and they had it under control. How's that grab you?
Yeah, to a point. Anyway, so Sung-yeon's father and the husband and the baseball player, they suit up, they get some gear on, and they plan on going to rescue those survivors, his daughter, the mother, and the grandma, and the homeless man. So they start wrapping their hands with duct tape to avoid getting bitten by the creatures.
Yeah, that heavy guy, the heavy-set guy, the pregnant wife, he took his jacket off and put duct tape up down his arms and maybe some padding and stuff. And the baseball player, the kid, he did something there as well. And,
he gets his bat, obviously. He carries around his bat all the time.
He had a good swing.
So they head into there and they learn in this very scene that the zombies cannot see what they hunt, meaning they don't like the darkness. So they use the tunnels the tunnel systems
when it goes dark, they're sneaking past
to sneak past them.
Yeah.
So they kind of calculate it from Sue's dad's phone. He has his phone with a GPS on it, which kind of times
where the next tunnel
is, like how many kilometers we are for the next tunnel. So anyway, they eventually arrived there. Of course, when they tried to get them out, they had to confine themselves to the other toilet. So they had to wait for another 2 more minutes for them to go through to wait for another tunnel. So they were lucky enough they were close enough to their loved ones. Obviously.
I must admit that I was very impressed with the toilets.
Really?
They're very good size. You get all these people inside them.
Yeah, most of the time if you ever go to toilets, seeing our toilets, it's a very confining situation.
Well, you haven't been in a country train.
Actually, I haven't.
It's like an aeroplane. There's a lot for room, but I think these ones are a little bit bigger.
So anyway,
very handy.
So anyway, they use the luggage rack when they get to the tunnel. They start using the luggage rack to climb across there, and when they get to the close to the other side, the tunnel ends, and both homeless man and the father, they hide inside the one of the empty chair aisles, of course, and the others hide hide in other cart, obviously. Of course, when they're about to move, the homeless man accidentally snaps onto one of the cans that were left over.
A can of Coke or empty tin can or something. Or
something. And
product placement,
they quickly quickly get to their feet and try to make it to the other side. And of course, when they get to the cart with the other people that were on the other side, they have already kind of locked and barricade the door up, I guess that's the word.
They tried to.
And the girl, who's the baseball player's girlfriend, I think, I'm not sure, she tries to struggle against some of the train attendant, I think it is, because the other people don't want to invite them in. Obviously, Of course, they eventually end up breaking the door, and were able to get through thanks to the grandma's sister and the young little girl, obviously, and they soon get them in. And Soo-yeon's father goes all out on the businessman, and I should mention the grandma. She actually got killed before she gets in, obviously, and she becomes a Z too.
She became a Z, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, the businessman shouts that Soo-yeon's father has been infected, and this spreads like wildfire. Mass hysteria, if that's the word. I mean, that usually seems to happen in such situations, like if one person believes it, then another person believes it, and then the other person believes it. Stuff like that. It does spread like wildfire.
Yep, it certainly do.
Yeah, it happens in every major disaster, stuff like that. Anyway, they're told to be confined into another cart, so they're asked to leave. So those people are forced into the other cart along with the baseball player's girlfriend. She wasn't affected, but she didn't want to leave him, obviously, and didn't believe like the rest of them that they were infected, because they were neither bitten or anything, except for the husband, I should mention, whom he sacrificed himself, and he
fought the zombies back while other people got away. Isn't that lovely?
It is nice. He kind of got bitten too, so he had no choice but to stay, to save his wife and to save Soo-yeon and all the other people. Anyway, so they lock up the door, and the grandma's sister is annoyed by their survival fittest crap, and she decides to let in the Zeds, and...
No, it wasn't it. She was looking at her sister or whatever.
She looks at her sister.
And she was sad. She went towards the door, and she opened it. We don't know what was in her mind, whether she was mentally snapped, wanted to see her sister, wanted to join her, whatever. We don't really know.
I don't like to think that she probably she's tired of these people, these ones.
Well, we don't know what motivated it, so don't assume.
But I can only assume that she just...
here. You might be right. The notes here, disgusted at the passengers.
Yeah.
And despairing for the loss of her sister, deliberately opens the other door and allows the zombies to enter and kill the rest of the cast. Passengers. So you were right. I was wrong. I stand corrected.
She just liked their attitude. They just practically assumed that they were infected without even looking if there's any cuts or bruises, even though they should have realised that.
Strip down, search, cavalry search.
I guess they were not in the know that they knew a secret to the zombies. Found out their weaknesses, obviously, when they were confined in such dangerous situation there. If they did, they could have learned how to kind of escape these zombies. Anyway, the train driver later on tells them that they're getting closer to Busan, and very soon, if there's any survivors left, that we'll get there very soon, obviously. So anyway, Busan sounds like a positive place, and we learnt during this that Soo-yeon's father finds out that his plant was the problem, or the center to this.
The epicenter of the epidemic, whatever it is. Yeah.
Yeah, meaning he feels responsible for its spreading. And
Can I say, oh shit?
No, not on this channel.
Okay.
You're not.
Oh wait, I'll take it back then. Okay.
Anyway, our heroes. So those people get eaten up by the zombies after the sister's sacrifice and all that stuff, killing herself and some of the survivors in that cart. So the remaining ones are the homeless man, the wife,
the pregnant lady,
the baseball player, his girlfriend, Soo-yeon's father and Soo-yeon. So they're like the businessman and the sort of the train attendant is still alive in a
these train tends to be a little bit like cabin crew, like they have an airplane. I don't know what they actually do.
I don't know what they call them either. I usually hear we have security on the trains.
Well, we don't know what their role. They just were there a bit like cabin crew.
They don't do anything in the production.
Well, no, in reality, I mean, we don't have people on our trains walking around saying, "Hello, how you doing?
Yeah.
You want a blankie?" No,
most of the time we just have security wandering up and down our train station. Trains.
Checking your tickets. Come and show us your ticket. Get off.
Anyway, so they get to one of the stations and it's blocked, meaning they cannot get directly to Busan.
No, that was the one they were originally going to stop at. That was a place called East Daegu.
Yeah, we learned that he's gonna the train driver is gonna go and try to find another train so they can get to the next destination.
And the wheels on the train went right through.
Yeah, so he stops there and he starts searching for a train. We get two no-shows because one is full to the brim with zombies and another one is got one zombie inside there, so he could not use it. So he finally finds a third one that's vacant. And has petrol inside it. Anyway, the remaining other survivors, they slowly try to get out. The businessman, he lets the tenant get killed by the Zeds, and he makes it out on his own, obviously. And he meets the train driver who's about to put the train onto the tracks, and the train driver gets eaten by the Zeds while the businessman flees for his life. Anyway, the other ones, like Soo-yeon and her father and all that, the baseball player and his girlfriend, they get killed by some Zeds, no thanks to the businessman. His selfish attitude.
Yeah, he got them. His actions made sure they died. Yeah.
Anyway, so we're left with Soo-yeon's father, Soo-yeon, the pregnant lady, and the homeless man. And when they were trying to get through the trains, they already got off the train, and now they're on the train tracks. And one of the trains kind of flips over.
No, there's a runaway train hit it.
Yeah, one runaway train hits another train and causes it to fall backwards onto them.
Well, sort of sideways, not backwards.
I mean, fall on top of them.
Well, sort of, yeah.
Anyway, so they're
stuck in the middle.
And there's Zeds on the other side of the on that train. So in the window mirrors, the windows are slowly going to break. So but luckily enough, Soo-yeon's father was able to find a gap
underneath the train.
Yeah, he crawls out and sees if there's.
Is the coast clear?
Yeah, it looks clear, and he waves to his daughter and the pregnant lady to come. It's all clear, but then something falls on top of it, preventing him from getting to his daughter and to the remaining people.
So he struggles to move it.
Yeah, while the homeless man, he actually sacrificed himself to save the pregnant lady and
the little girl.
So he saves them while he pushes the zombies Zeds as much as he could, and while Daddy was able to get the thing out of the way and get the two the pregnant lady and his daughter out of there. Of course, the train thing crashes onto the homeless man and the Zeds, and the Zeds crawl out on the other side and start attacking on the other side. And so they quickly get onto the train. It's
they're running. The train's in a slow coast mode because the train driver would start putting it in motion.
Yeah, they quickly get onto the train, and then we have a few stowaways. The zombies try to do a zombie chain.
Yeah, a bit of a conga line of zombies on the back of the train.
Yeah. Of course, he then eventually steps on their foots a couple times and was able to get the Zeds to lose their grip and growl in anger for.
They weren't very happy, little zombies.
They start approaching the driver's seat, and they see the businessman who tells them that he doesn't want to die, and
he was already turning.
Yeah, he was slowly turning.
Yeah, you're getting those the veins they get on the skin and the eyes
that go glazy.
He thinks he's still alive, but he's not, and he tells him, "Hey, you're turning, and you're turning."
Yeah,
he didn't realise it, and they had a big fight.
Yeah, Soo-yeon's father tries to fight him off, but eventually he gets bitten in his hand or his wrist, and he then throws the businessman off the train. Don't know if he's dead or alive. Does not matter at this point. Anyway, he's doomed. He's a dead man walking, if you will, call it that. Anyway, he quickly gets the pregnant lady and his Soo-yeon into the driver's seat.
And he tells the lady how to control the train. Or there's a go button, there's a brake button. So when you get where you're going, hit the brakes. Yeah. And he leaves them in there, and he... Of
course, Soo-yeon doesn't want her dad to leave.
Her name is Soo-yeon, not Soo-young.
Soo-yeon. She begs her father to stay, but he's a doomed man. He can't...
He's going to turn, so he didn't want to hurt him.
He then quickly loosens his grip on her girl, and he then quickly closes the door firmly, and she's crying, begging, and we hear the crying, and we watch as he heads to the back of the train and watches as his eyes glaze over, and
he starts to have a couple of pleasant memories.
And he starts remembering the day his daughter was born, and then
giving a bottle and stuff in the hospital,
and then he then falls from the train.
Let's loose his grip, and he falls off the train.
Then we finally get to a tunnel, I guess, and we must realize we're reached Busan at this point.
It must be at Busan because that's the end of the train line.
Yeah, both the pregnant lady
and... There's a barricade there.
Yeah. Soo-yeon get off the train, and they make their way through the tunnel.
Oh, wait a minute. At the beginning of the tunnel, there'd been a barricade. There looked like there'd been some fighting because a lot of dead bodies there.
Yeah, there are a lot of dead bodies there. Anyway, so they head into the tunnel.
To walk through to the other side, obviously.
From the other side, there is a bit of an army barricade there.
Yeah, well, the guy had something like a foxhole type thing with the sandbags. They had one guy off his rifle.
Yeah, of course, when they see Soo-yeon and the pregnant lady, they assume that they're zombies.
I was going to say that. One guy had his rifle with his sights trying to see what they were, but they were silhouetted, didn't know what they were originally.
Yeah,
and he saw a big one, a little one. He told the guy next to him had a radio to his boss, or a two-way radio, and he said, "Kill them."
Yeah.
And then the guy was getting ready to kill them.
And then he hears Soo-yeon singing.
Zombies don't sing.
Yeah, and then they realize they must be alive, so they run to their aid. And thanks to her little singing, she and her lady were saved.
The songs he should have done for father.
Yeah, she is. Anyway, so then we fade out, and the movie ends, obviously. And we are left to assume that both Soo-yeon and her, the lady, are safe, and they're now in.
I wonder if the little girl Soo-yeon finally made up for mother.
Maybe.
Because
it was already
Busan was under attack and they survived. But
there's a big chance.
You never know.
There is a big chance maybe her mother survived and got picked up by either soldiers or...
Well, they might just kill all the dead people, the zombies, or destroyed the zombies before they got out of control,
Yeah, who knows.
Interesting.
Anyway, so that's Train to Busan, guys.
To black time.
So that's the movie, guys.
Anyway, look, I'm not going to talk too much about it. I'm going to get straight back into a couple of production details I found here. The film team tried to reference the movements of the zombies in the game 7 Days to Die.
I've heard of that game.
And the movements of the dolls from Ghost in the Shell. So you got some inspiration from there. And some of the movements from also were taken from Silent Hill, so that's a good reference points.
Yeah, I mean, you got to find your reference points if you're going to make a zombie movie.
Instead of trying to reinvent the wheel all the time, say, hey, that was pretty damn good, I'll use that now, or something like that. The train wasn't actually moving when they're inside it; they were using wrist-screen protection.
Ah, clever.
So obviously someone could have been hurt. A zombie might have been hurt or something.
If the train was in motion, per se, guys, they may have to. If they had to, if it was in motion, they would have to move. If every time they have to do a retake, they may have to move back to the position again.
It could interfere with other trains wanting to use the track.
That's what I mean, Mike. I mean, if they did do what you say, they would probably have be stalling another train from
Could well
arriving
be.
there. So that would be a bit of a pain in the rear when you think about this.
Yep.
So this was an actual train. It was not in
I think they used a real
somewhere.
train, but they had a rear screen projector on the outside showing the passing scenery.
I see.
Yep.
That's
Yeah.
clever.
Not bad.
That is clever.
Pretty clever. Now, I won't talk about anything else. The way I did talk about box office before, but I'll mention something here. It became the highest grossing Korean film in Malaysia, Hong Kong, and Singapore. In South Korea, it recorded more than 11 million moviegoers
Ooh.
just in South Korea.
Just think what it would be like if it was a total box office watch from all over the world, guys.
Well, yeah, no, still, I mean, they made a lot of money out of it around. Anyway, and it was highest grossing film for that year. Now, critical response. I got a few things here.
Here it comes, guys.
Rotten Tomatoes. Drum roll.
Brr.
Okay, right. 94%. Based on 118 critics. Blah, 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 blah. It's a Train to Busan delivers a thrilling, unique, and purely entertaining take on the zombie genre.
Cool.
With fully realised characters and plenty of social commentary to underscore the burst of skillfully staged action. That's not too bad, is it?
Sweet.
Now, Metacritic, they gave it 72 out of 100. That's pretty good for them. Based on only 16 critics, generally favourable reviews, doesn't say a lot. They never do. Clark Collis of Entertainment Weekly wrote that the film borrows heavily from World War Z in its depiction of the fast-moving undead masses, because zombies used to shamble around a lot, but now they run around.
Yeah, I mean, I think I said to Mike just when we were watching it that I can't stand a zombie cheetah.
What?
You see, I was just saying, commenting that they were running like cheetahs, like really fast. So I just thought I'd make it's a bit of a comedy joke, you know. I can't stand a zombie cheetah.
Yeah.
But you got to admit, you are correct, Mike. I mean, considering that zombies, they're in the ground,
Yeah. You think rigor mortis would be setting in a bit?
Yeah. Do you think their joints be going to start getting
like
stiff?
Me, in the morning I can hardly move. Now, the New York Times, Jeanette Katsoulis selected the film as her critic's pick and took notice of its subtle class warfare. There was a negative review here. David Ehrlich from IndieWire commented that as the characters whittle away in archetypes and start making senseless decisions, they always make senseless decisions in these sorts of movies. That's why it makes them good cannon fodder. The spectacle also sheds its unique personality. So yeah, that's all. Yeah, there's a couple of guys like, but most of the reviewers think, "Hey, this is damn good fare," and that's the way it should be. Now, accolades. I don't normally do accolades. But just people saying how good different things are. Yeah, film festivals.
Right.
Okay, here we go. Asian awards. Nominated for Best Actor, Best Supporting Actor, Best Editor, Best Visual Effects, Best Costume Design. Nominations didn't win, but still nominated. Blue Dragon Film Awards. Best Film, Supporting Actor, Supporting Actress, New Director, Art Director, Screenplay, Editing, Cinematography, Lighting, Technical Award, Audience Choice Award for Most Popular Film. Those last two, Technical Award and the Audience Choice, they won those. Bull Film Awards. Best Film nominated. Best Supporting Actor won. Best Supporting Actress, Cinematography and Art Direction nominated. Won whatever Young Mock Film Awards, whatever it is. Best Foreign Language Film at the Fangoria Chainsaw Awards. They won that one.
Cool.
Best Actor.
I have Fangoria one.
Yeah.
It's one of them.
Fangoria,
I tried to apply for that one time, but I didn't get in.
Best Actor was nominated. The Korean Association of Film Critics Technical Award won. Saturn Awards Best Horror Film nominated. So there are lots of nominations and a few wins in there. You don't often get that, but they did quite a lot. But there's just a couple more I want to mention. Let's see. There was Baeksang Arts Awards Best Supporting Actor won. Best New Director. One of the guys, it was two guys. It's got names here for some silly bloody reason. One nomination and a win. Technical Award 1, and Shansa Film Awards. Best Film, Special Audience Award for Best Film 1. So yeah, and home media. Obviously, it's a home media. I don't know what's done there money-wise, but I presume all the Asians are going to buy it.
Of course.
So,
but don't discount the Asians, considering a lot of people over here seem to like it too.
Yeah, I know
Just
that.
like they like the Alive movie too.
I didn't say that we didn't like it. I think the Asian market will see the home media side G up the profit margin a bit because they would obviously buy because it's in the local language.
True.
But the worldwide sales for DVDs and streaming, whatever, should actually see a positive growth in those figures. So yeah.
After all, Alive has gone to, I think, streamed.
That's the one with the guy stuck in that home unit or apartment or something. Yeah, that was good. That one.
Yeah, that one was given.
Didn't like his hair.
Give me a break.
What?
Give me a break, Mike. Anyway, it's not important about the hair colour. Anyway, I have no issue with this movie. I think it's great, especially the themes, like the like when I talked about George A. Romero's one, it deals with being trapped in a sort of a confined area, and this was exactly like that, and it dealt with survival of the fittest. Like everyone's worried about themselves; they didn't seem to care about the other man.
Yeah, and a bit of class warfare in there. Like the rich guys and stuff wanted to stop the people down the bottom and use them as cannon fodder and all that sort of stuff. You know,
and a man who's the guy who's at fault. He decided to rewrite that by trying to help other people later on in the story.
Selfishness was
when
left
he started,
behind.
when I think that was when his daughter tells him when they were getting to the train station that was going to be quarantined. In that one, she tells him that he only cares about himself, and that's why his wife left him in the first place. Yeah,
Mummy and you aren't together because you're a self-serving, horrible, nasty man, Daddy. Yeah. Coming from your child, that wouldn't go down very good, would it?
I think that's why he decided to become, try to help the survivors get away.
So a coming of age for Daddy, how's that?
Oh, yeah, quite right. Anyway, that's sort of the thing in this movie. And as I said before, when someone develops mass hysteria, it starts spreading like the zombie plague or epidemic.
Yeah.
And this is long before COVID set in again. And this is and when I remember what happened with COVID, I think that there was mass hysteria then too, because people didn't know who had what, or whether anyone had if anyone sneezed, would that mean that they had COVID?
Shoot them. Whatever.
Or
you can't do that.
No, if someone had COVID, would they have to be confined? And it was difficult because we didn't at the time work out what was going on.
We didn't know where it was, who had it, who was spreading it. Yeah, it's very hard. But anyway, let's go away from COVID, please.
I'm just saying, Mike.
I know.
When COVID hit, it caused this horrible thing that happened, and it got people scared and worried that who might be next. Just like the expression in those zombie or case of the body snatchers, they're here already, you're next type of thing. Thing
scary.
In the movie. Anyway, as Mike says, it's not important at this point.
Anyway, what I'm going to say is,
I do think this movie's pretty cool, especially the confinement to a train instead of running around the streets trying to avoid a zombie outbreak. Which has been done
trying to avoid them in a
times.
Confined space changes the deal a bit.
Yeah, especially when you look at a train or any particular confined space. Like a train itself is a very confined space indeed. Would you say, Mike?
Yes, it is. Where do you run to?
Yeah, and it's a lot smaller than a house, and indeed much more smaller than a shopping mall, like in Dawn of the Dead.
And if you want to hide in the toilet or the bathroom, it's a bit smaller on a train.
Yeah, and if you had company, that would make it even more confining.
But then again, they lock themselves in the toilet. Good place to hide if you're going to be in there for a while, just in case. Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah, that's true. I got to admit, though, I liked it when that some of the people who are good people were willing to help and try to get their hands dirty by trying to help the survivors as much as they can.
Exactly.
Of course, as I said before, some of the stuff that happens in this kind of gets people killed, obviously.
Yep.
Anyway, do we want to rate this now? Because what you said,
Well, I was
if
waiting.
this movie's got
Yeah, unless you finish with the COVID and everything.
it's already got good reviews from the reviewers, good
Yeah,
audience reaction.
Most reviewers said it was great.
Yeah, an audience reaction, they enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And let me see, prizes like
Lots of nominations, a few wins,
and a few wins.
Yeah, so it's up there. I mean, I don't put the Asian movies on the top of my favourite list only because I don't like subtitled movies because I have trouble reading subtitles because I got poor eyesight. Okay, now that doesn't mean they're bad movies. I just find that the same with European movies, same thing. Yeah, it's subtitled. I steer away from them because it's not pleasurable for me. But having said that, I think this movie holds its own quite nicely against other movies, whether they're English speaking or European or Asian or whatever. I think it fits in quite nicely. It's a good movie. It's solid. It's got everything you like in it.
Yeah, and it doesn't drag.
It doesn't drag. Yeah, the storyline flows quite nicely. There's no real dead bits in it. There's no gratuitous sort of stuff going, let's have a sex scene. Or we can sit here and say, what do you want to do? I don't know. What do you want to do? I don't know. What do you want to do? Sort of crap, just pat it out. No, it's constantly moving. Yeah. And that's what I like in a movie. I don't like dead bits. No, in a zombie movie, no, it goes flat. Don't like it. And this doesn't go flat anywhere during the film. The acting, Asian acting's a bit different to Western acting, but for an Asian type movie, acting's quite passable. The story's good. The filming's exceptionally good considering all the confined space sort of stuff and running around through train yards and whatever.
I do wonder when they were filming this, it must have been difficult when they had to shoot through, when they had, there were all those windows, right, Mike?
Yeah, and that's trying to get your focal ranges and different things and lighting. It's really hard sometimes. People forget about the poor old DOP. He's working his ass off, pardon your language, trying to get a clear shot. Yeah, and you've got a lot of focal points in there.
And had to readjust the lighting on the, not the lighting, I mean the ISO on the camera to make sure it's good on your actors, but at the same time it does not affect the glare in the windows.
Well, for those who don't know too much about camera work, see, you can compensate by going up to about 6,000, maybe at a pinch 8,000 ISO in low light situations. That's fine, but you sometimes got to open up your aperture, and the wider you have your aperture, the shorter the smaller your focal range, so things can go out of focus quite easily. So
that's another thing, Mike. Yeah. You told me before when we were talking to a friend before about this before about a glass being short stuff. If we used anything that's like maybe something to smear the glass with, like considering in some of these scenes we get a lot of red blood on, accidentally on the on the windows because of the victims, and then we have the newspapers where the lady puts the newspapers on the windows so the zombies don't act all rabbish.
Yeah, if you splash water on the window and just lays the newspaper up. What a very clever. She should have been a girl guide or something. But anyway, so there's a lot of work involved in DOPs and the special effects people. They've really got to work hard to get these sort of things happening properly. Otherwise, the filming goes down the gurgler. And this guy did pretty good. That's why I mentioned his name before. What's his name again? Lee Hang-dok.
I think he's got a great career ahead of him, considering he's already made an anime of a zombie outbreak, and now he made a movie about it, and now he's made a sequel, and who knows where it will land him in the near future. Anyway, I'm kind of glad that this movie didn't land itself American, but one.
What?
Well, I think that they were going to make a remake of this.
They were going to do a remake American called Train to New York or something, or Last Train to New York, or But I think they canned it.
Thank goodness.
Which is sometimes in one country it'll work, in another country it's one country it won't
I think
work.
they did the same thing with that Alive movie. It worked well in Asia, obviously, and it has probably made just as much as a box office hit in that movie. But they decided to make an Americanized version with Donald Sutherland, and along with some two other American actors, or I'm not sure American is the right word. And I can't seem to find it anywhere. I tried looking, guys. Trust me, I have.
Yeah.
And I don't think I could find it, obviously, because it's probably not as... It probably didn't do a really good job with the box office
Here it is.
either.
The Last Train to New York was scheduled to be released in April 2023. However, in July 2022, Warner Brothers removed the film off the release schedule, with Evil Dead Rise taking its original release date.
Yeah.
So we might still see The Last Train to New York. I don't know. I haven't looked into it, but
I hope
it
not.
may come along. It may not. Now,
of course, they made a sequel to the Train to Busan. They called it Train to Busan 2, what was it called, Mike? I mean, I know it's not called just the Train to Busan 2.
Well, I don't know if it's a sequel, but there's a movie called Peninsula.
Yeah, that's it.
It's a standalone sequel set 4 years after the Train to Busan. Also directed by the same guy, and released in South Korea in 2020. It gained mixed reviews. It wasn't a continuation of the story, but it was set in the same sort of environment.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I mean, again, as I said, it was in Korea, obviously.
Yeah, well, he's Korean. That's
and in that one, it deals with the after effect of the zombie thingy.
What happened later? Did the zombies run for parliament? You know,
the leeches,
take over the jobs at McDonald's. You know.
Anyway, it's sort of just like makes me think of those other Night of the Living Dead film franchises. I mean, the films that George A. Romero made when he was still alive. Like that one deals with a particular type of, not the zombie world is turned into a zombie world. Like every part of the world is zombie related. So the only remaining places left are to hide or in large gatherings in special blockades areas, obviously.
Exactly. What's that one? Not Resident Evil. The one where they're actually locked in. Yeah, I'm looking what it could have been. Was it Rise of the Evil Dead or something where they're locked in the stockade?
Do you mean the Land of the Dead?
Could be Land of the Dead. Yeah, where they had a couple of army guys were in charge. They had a couple of doctors there and stuff, living in a blockade sort of thing. And they're catching the guys and experimenting on them.
In this one, it does dabble with stuff like they even dabble with illegal zombie games by kind of with using living human beings and ending up, and those people get betted on and killed along the way. Anyway,
let's kill us. And now, wait a minute. Do you want to buy it? Do you want to watch it? Do you want to rent it? Here we go.
Here we go,
eBay,
guys.
plenty for sale. Yeah, new mainly with a couple of uses in there, so watch out. What do you want to buy? Now, Amazon, you can rent it and you can buy it. And there's some double packs, I think, in maybe eBay and Amazon. For another movie, could be the Peninsula movie, not sure, but there's a double pack. But anyway, what I was going to suggest, if you're not real sure about these sort of Asian movies, rent it. It could be on a streaming service as well, so have a look. It's Train to Busan, Busan, 2016.
Yes.
So what I suggest is, not real sure, rent it, but if you want to take a punt, buy it.
And if as you said before, if you still feel unsure about either, I recommend you can feel free to check out other reviews and find out from them if they're really good too.
It might have some trailers and stuff on YouTube.
Yeah, I mean, aside from Dead Meat, which I often get most of my horror film ideas from, mostly. I also have a friend who has his own film review thing, which is called Embrace the Films, and this is where I found out about this movie, The Train to Busan.
Who does it Embrace the Films?
That would be my favorite puppet figure, Ollie Buckley. If you're out there, Ollie, we are still loving you over in Australia here. Yeah. So, Ollie, hats off to you if you have a hat, and therefore we do wish you all the best with your
good
podcast.
Old Ollie, I like him.
Yeah, I mean, I do like Ollie. He's a great puppet, and he's been a great
Ollie, say hello to your master too, okay?
Yeah, say hello to Sean for me too. All right, that's my shout out to Embrace the Films. So be sure to check him out, guys. He's got some really good feedback on films.
So I did meet him, and any other ones? No, that's it. The two main ones, are they?
Yeah, those are the two main ones.
Yeah, they're good guys. Anyway, listen, I can't think of anything else to say.
Let's rate this movie, Mike, seeing as we haven't rated yet.
Oh, we didn't. I forgot we haven't rated it yet. You talk too much. I'm going to give this 9.
I'm going to rate it 9.5 out of 10.
Yeah,
because I think it's really good, and I like the fact that it took place in such a small environment. And the fact that you have so many people in those productions who try to fight against another branch of people who are trying to absolutely hardest to fight the zombie Zeds, as well as their own people next to them who refuse to help.
Yeah.
There are some silly people on this production.
Yes, somewhat.
Anyway, so that's about it from all of us today, guys. So I highly recommend it. You definitely check it out, and be sure to let us know in the comments what you guys think of this of that movie. Okay, guys? Like I always say, it's always good to put your own thoughts to paper or in the comments to tell us what you think of this movie.
Figuratively speaking nowadays.
So anyway, so that's about it from us. So you know where to find it and where to get it.
Anyway, Train to Busan, Busan.
Yeah.
You get it right. Yeah. Can't think of anything else to say, but apart from it's a good watch. Go and do it. Enjoy. Give some feedback. It'd be really, really nice to hear from you folks.
All right, that's about it from us all, guys. So this is Sarah Stephenson.
What's my name? Oh, yeah, Michael. Yeah.
Saying we'll see you guys around on our next podcast on Ghouls Film Review. Bye for now.
Bye.